I am a pure-blood succubus. Every 7 days, desire consumes me. Stuart Newlin always complained that I clung to him too much, that I distracted him from his grand ambitions. Then, at the peak of my heat, when I needed him most, he blew me off. He chose to go to his female friend's prenatal appointment instead. The thing is, a succubus cannot survive without being fed. Without that energy, that devotion, I wither. Unfortunate as it was to fall into the hands of a neglectful master, I had no choice but to seek another. My new keeper bore the bloodline of the Black Serpent. He had double the virility night and day. He poured himself into me. He worked tirelessly. I was more than satisfied. So when Stuart showed up with a massive bouquet of red roses, hoping to coax me back, what greeted him was the sight of me, flushed and glowing, curled up in another man's arms. His eyes burned with rage as he went mad, smashing everything in the house, raging that I was unfaithful, that I dared take another man to my bed. Smiling, I leaned into my new master's embrace and introduced them. Let me make the introductions. You two have more in common than you think. After all, I have slept with both of you. Stuart Newlin hadn't come home for over a month. I clenched my phone, hesitating, fingers trembling as I debated calling him. I wanted to beg him to come back. I wanted to beg him to look at me. Stuart is my boyfriend, but he is not a good master. He locked me in a room when I was in heat, leaving me to pound the door with cries while my nails clawed my skin raw. Still, he refused to open it. If you are so desperate, why do not you just look in the streets? Plenty of men there. His voice from the other side of the door was icily contemptuous. I froze. When we first met, he'd been awkward and shy, presenting a huge bouquet of red roses as he confessed. He called me his most precious treasure. I believed him. Now he despised me. For more than a month, he hadn't set foot in our home. These past heat cycles I had endured alone, gritting my teeth until my body threatened to snap. If I did not receive love soon, I would truly die. When the call finally connected, his reply was brusque and impatient. Do not make trouble. I am at the hospital with Naomi for her checkup. I was too weak to form more than a pleading whisper, repeating the same desperate request for him to come home. He cut me off with a cold laugh. Stop pretending. Succubi do not die that easily. Something else stirred on the line. A coquettish female voice. Stuart, the baby just kicked. Come feel. Stuart's tone softened in an instant. He leaned his head against Naomi's belly and teased the baby inside as tenderly. Naomi laughed gently. She asked who he had been speaking with. He waved it off. Just some nuisance caller, he said. The line went dead as I was wiping my tear-streaked face. I slid to the floor, powerless. My chest felt as if it were torn wide open, and someone rubbed salt into the wound. Pain sprouted in 1,000 places. Was it grief or the torture of this heat? It was impossible to tell. All I had needed was a hand to hold, not a kiss, not an embrace. Even a single loving word would have sufficed. He had promised to love me forever, and I had believed him. Now, he was telling me to go find another man. Since he did not want me anymore, I would do exactly as he suggested. I dug my nails into my palm, fighting to stay conscious. My fingers trembled as I pulled up a familiar number and pressed call. The line clicked after several long rings. Louisa, stop crying to me for advice. Stuart is your boyfriend, and what am I to you? Hearing that cold, low voice on the other end, a sudden ache welled in my chest. I choked back sobs, but my voice still trembled. But Hez the only one I have ever been with. Besides him, who else could I choose? Joe Dixon's voice sharpened, grinding with irritation. Sleep instantly gone. Louisa, it's 3 in the morning in Moreland. Do you take me for a dead man, answering your call at this hour? I wiped my tears aggrieved. Joe, I think I might be dying. Stuart has not come home for several cycles. The pain is unbearable. I cannot hold on. A loud crash erupted on the other end, something shattering into pieces. Then came his furious roar. What in the world? How the hell is Stuart taking care of you? I clutched the phone in silence as tears streamed down. Joe went quiet for a moment, then finally spat. Wait for me. I am coming back. I sat in my room, body racked with the fire burning hotter, sharper, until I collapsed to my knees. I pressed my forehead to the ground, desperate for relief. My mind blurred. In the haze, I seemed to see Stuart again, the once shy, lively boy, but he had changed, his love gone, swallowed forever by time. Tears blurred my vision until my face was soaked. I do not know how much time passed before a heavy pounding rattled the front door. Louisa, open the door. That voice was so familiar.